What's up, good brother?
I'm good, y'all. How you doing?
Yo, man, I know how it is to be right there where you sitting at, brother.
You know I know you know.
God bless you, man. Yo, you's a warrior and a half. I don't know how you travel the world, do what you do.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Still show up on time.
Yeah, bro. It's that's part of my wellness, kind of what keeps me going and focused to keep my mind there, trying to hold on to whatever normalcy I can, you know.
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely right.
yeah. When you said you was getting getting situated, I thought you was going to try to do it like after dialysis, but I'm like, yo, you're not playing, man.
Nah, I was gonna try to do it as soon as they got me in the chair.
When you get in the chair, you can sit back a little bit.
Yeah, I'm easy street once I'm on.
Okay.
But you know, I was running behind just a little bit getting here today because I had to pick up something, and by the time I got here, you know, I was a little bit behind my chair time. So normally
your days are Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Wednesday,
Friday. Yeah.
Same days as you, Rob.
Yeah,
those are my off days. I'm Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's my good work though. I like those days.
I like those. Yeah. That's how I move, man.
Because at least that weekend feel like you really off from work.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Well, brother, thank you. I thank you for taking the time out with us. We're from the Bronx, but we located right here in Danbury, Connecticut, brother. So we're doing via out of our home right here, son.
Wait a minute, y'all getting y'all Danbury swing on?
Danbury swinging, son.
Okay. You know what's funny? That used to be our setup too. Like me and my partner, when we show up at shows,
right,
and other rap dudes be, you know, we never carried ourselves like typical rappers. So we pull up, and when they were hollering, you just see they swag. We be like, yeah, we from Danbury. Just to get them to drop their guard and get their head taken off.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, you from Danbury? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
And get their head completely taken off.
Yeah, it's so many people though. So many people from the city and found their way up here though, man. Like when I first moved up there, I think it may have been like 2007. Shit, I was like one of the few black people. It was a handful of black people. Now
that don't look like a Danbury shape up, brother. Look like straight from the city with it, brother. That's all I'm saying.
Man, I found a barber up here. But the funny shit is, when I first moved up here, every week I was riding down to the Bronx to get a cut.
Yeah,
got it.
Yeah, every week. Then I find, you know, niggas is funny about who you let cut your hair. So I had to look, and I waited around. I went to the barbershop. I'm like, all right, we'll start off with you giving me a Caesar or whatever, and then see where they at. Then after a while, I found a dude.
Yeah, I had to learn the hard way, man, because the Dominicans, I tell you, the Dominicans kept giving me the OBJ. I'm like, yo, I don't want that shit off the side, yo. What the fuck?
That's funny.
It kept giving me. I'm looking with my shit flurry at the top, no side. I'm like, all right, I need to find a homie that's going to cut my hair right.
I'll be honest, the Dominicans been holding me down for 5 years. But, you know, they still don't speak no English. I just point and click. Like, listen, like, I walk them up to the poster, like, this is what I do.
That's it.
Shit, yo, what, the number chart joint? Give me a number 5.
Yeah, before, exactly.
I get the McDonald's order on the shape up. But it's like, you know, I had dreads for so many years that I didn't even know how to get a cut, to be honest with you. It had been so long.
Yeah.
Likewise.
Yeah. That shit feels funny because I used to have cornrows too. I remember when I cut them off, my head just felt, you feel different, right? You feel like naked.
Bruh, like
your head get light.
And the shower water hit my neck for the first time. Oh my God.
Yeah, son. It should put you to sleep.
Oh man.
Yeah, meditating in the shower.
Facts.
Yeah.
But look, how about this? Then I'm gonna hit you. You remember when we had them catheters in?
Yeah.
And you couldn't take a shower.
Couldn't take no shower. Bird bath, my nigga, all day.
Right. I had to go get a whole new shower head with the hose on it just so I could strategically get around the catheter.
Oh wow, son! I used to have to tape my shit in a plastic bag and tape the plastic bag to my chest if I wanted to take a shower.
But look, what I found out is when they first brought us out the hospital, they put that Tegaderm on it, that plastic bandage.
Yeah.
I ordered them on Amazon.
Nice.
So I just Tegaderm the whole joint. Like I did a whole summer that way when I had to perform. So I was doing I was still touring, and then I was doing like summer stage and the video music box shows and So when you got that, you got people trying to take pictures with you and get close. It wasn't just the water I was worried about. It was just, people interaction. So the Tegaderm, I was able to pack it up. And I found out the hard way I had to put gauze on it before that because the Tegaderm, you sweat under it.
So the moisture.
You still have a puddle of liquid under it as soon as you take it off, like especially in the summer. So I had to start covering it with the gauze first. And then Tegaderm it, but that kept you good money. You could shower all that.
Yeah, because if it get infected, it gets in your bloodstream, and that's a wrap after that.
Well, you got to remember, one side of it dips in your heart, so that's what you don't want.
That's what you don't want.
Yeah, so I avoided that like the plague. I was straight Matrix with that.
Yeah, son. You gotta play it easy with that, son.
Yeah, not at all. So that first hour after that, brother, was heaven.
Let me give you a formal introduction. So we're joined here today by MicHandz, rapper, actor, videographer,
activist, street general,
a jack of all trades, bro.
Right, sir.
Well, first tell us where you from. I know where you from, but tell our viewers where you from and how you got into hip hop.
Well, Flatbush, Brooklyn, New York. You already know. I've been rhyming since I was in the 8th grade, to be honest with you. Some of my friends hollered at me and was like, yo, we're going to start a rap group. I was in a defunct singing group before that. So I ain't know nothing about no rapping. I was a singer. My man was like, nah, this is what we going to do. So I'm like, all right. So they took me and wrote me my first rap, taught me how to write a rap. And we've been off to the races since then. So ironically enough, if you remember the group, the Bush Babies,
yeah.
Oh, yes, sir.
If you remember the Bush Babies, Chaos from the Bush Babies was in a group called Chaos and Mass Construction. Chaos and Mass Destruction. Well, Mass Destruction, little brother was my partner. So we was downstairs in the dining room fucking up raps, and they was upstairs rapping the right way.
Right.
So this is what was happening. This was back on Fort Hamilton in Brooklyn. And then, eventually you figured out like, okay, this was far more productive than singing. Singing, I would go in the studio and it would take me 3 trips to the studio to finish one song. When I started rapping, I would go in the studio and knock out 3 songs in a session. I'm like, this is more cost effective. To a young hustler in these streets.
That's right.
But I ended up running with, and then maximize on that. I'm actually on the floor now. What up, King? Thank you.
Is that Davita you at?
Nah, fucking Davita. No disrespect.
No disrespect.
I'm a fastidious nigga. Word up.
The fastidious, yeah.
But yeah, here's my shuttle for the mate.
There you go. That's your kidney right there,
That's
bro.
my shuttle. Yeah, right here. Dialysis. So
yeah, man, that's a serious new lifestyle, man. I understand exactly what you're going through, bro.
How long did you ride?
Well, I lost my kidney in 2010.
Okay.
And
so that's when you started?
I was on dialysis in June of 2010, but then fortunately enough, my mom's gave me her kidney by December of the same year. So I was only on dialysis for like 6 months.
How fly is that though?
Yeah.
Super fly, because it happened right 2 days after my birthday. So it was like, here I am. I got rejuvenated on my birthday with new kidney and a whole new lifestyle, man. And the transition wasn't bad, man. It's just I had to get used to taking so much medication.
Yeah, after the fact, right?
After the fact.
After that, like 15 piece.
Yeah, son. Until it got down to just I had to take one Prograf with 5 millimeters every time I ate. So I was taking it 3 times a day, and that was it. And I had my mom's kidney for 7 years, and it started to fail. And when it started to fail, once the white blood cells started to attack it,
they found out it was there.
That was it, man. They found out it was there, and incrementally, month by month, my creatinine levels was going by 2.5 to 3.7 to 5.5 to it got to 10. Once you get to 10, that's automatic failure.
Yeah, game change.
Game change. Right back on dialysis, put the catheter back in your neck. They put me back on the donors list, so now I'm on the donors list out here in Connecticut. I've been on it for it's almost 4 years, so within the next year, I should be getting a call very soon.
So you back on the machine now, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So
Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, man.
But you said you did 7 years with mom's kidney.
7 years with mom's kidney, and just as I can digress just a little bit, what happened with that? I was switching jobs, and when you switch jobs, sometimes your benefit package changes.
That's right.
My benefits package did change, but I was under the impression that we would just roll over into the new company with the same package. So I got my first check of the year, and I noticed my medical wasn't coming out. I said dental, I see vision. I'm like, wow, how come my medical's not coming out? So I kind of panicked a little bit because I'm looking for my meds. So
that's right.
From February to March, that 30-day period, I didn't have my meds. I had meds, but I was rationing what I had.
Yeah, but that's all it took to let them white boys know you was there.
Them white boys was in there. So by me rationing in that 30-day span, they had already attacked the kidney. So my nephrologist said, I'll give you about 2 years before you go back on dialysis. Well, it was only about 6 months before I was right back on dialysis, man.
Yeah.
And I tell you this, man. Prior to me losing my kidney, I played ball. I was very healthy because they had to adjust my Prograf level because my white blood cells was going past all the Prograf.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They had to put me through a process where I had to freeze my plasma and my blood or something like that. So they allowed the Prograf to work along with the plasma, and they got it down to a level to where I could accept the Prograf, and my white blood cells would just kind of just fade away and just, you know what I mean? I didn't have to worry about them rejecting the kidney, but it was an ordeal. Yeah. You know what I mean? But the kidney lasted for 7 years, and then when it failed, I knew exactly what I was going through. I said, I'm going back to dialysis.
But you already knew the program.
I already knew the program, man.
And see, this is what I don't get. I don't get to build with many people on the other side. Like, I've mastered this version.
Right. That's nothing.
That's nothing. Really build with many people after the transplant, you know?
Right.
Because, again, like everything else, I've come to know this part is new.
Well, post-transplant is really a process of you. All right, now your lifestyle has changed. You have a foreign object in you, and your whole goal is to not have that object be kicked out, rejected. That's on your browser for the rest of your life. How to not to get rejected. So your diet is going to change. You can kind of resort to some of the way you was living because you're going to have the energy back. You're going to feel the difference of that. But the timing of when you take your medicine, the first thing you get up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you take your meds, you eat. Whatever regimen that you're on in regards to your medicine, you do not break stride. I don't care where you at, you take your medicine with you. Whatever time of the night, if they tell you 12 hours, if you take it 1 in the morning, you got to take it 1 in the afternoon. Don't take it at 1:30. Don't take it at 12:30. Take it at 1 when they say.
That's what I do now.
The reason for doing that is that your body, like anything else, needs to build up the attention for dealing with that because your body, your brain is going through a whole different process. Even when you're on dialysis, sometimes that's why you feel lethargic when you come out because your brain is like, what the fuck just happened? I know I got a kidney, but something else is doing the job for the kidney. How was all that working? You know what I'm saying? So on top of taking your meds, you almost have to rethink the way you want your body to work. You have to be in your mind and be like, yo, I can't do that no more. Nah, I gotta do this. I have to get sleep. I need some rest. You know what I'm saying? There's periods and times where you have to follow strict code of what you're doing. Now, after
make a lifestyle change.
Yo, after a year, after 2, you walk around with your pill case, you know it, bang. You're booking in there. And what progression that happen is your nephrologist and your kidney team will watch your progression. They'll watch you eating better. Your health is coming. Your hemoglobins are starting to come back. Those are your red blood cells. I mean, so if your red blood cells and your red blood cell count is high, that's a great sign. You know what I'm saying? Because that means your cells' reproduction is back in rhythm the way your body used to be. You know what I'm saying? The only thing is that kidney's a foreign object, and you got them white boys at the door.
Yeah, and that kidney, it never actually settles in. It's always a visitor.
It's always a visitor. It's always a visitor. So let me ask you this, Mike. You travel a lot. You move around a lot. You know, how does that really affect you, man?
I sleep a lot.
Get a lot of rest?
When I'm on the road, I'm always sleeping, resting, or whatever it is to do. My only focus is the show.
Right. So you save up your energy for the show.
I'm not really seeing the city too much and all that. I'm really trying to reserve my energy for the show.
Okay.
When did you get diagnosed?
2008.
Oh, okay.
I didn't fail to 2018 though.
Okay, wow, that was a while, man. That was a 10-year stretch.
Yeah, they put me on a preventative regimen, so I was, so that's why as I'm listening to you, I feel a little more confident because having to train myself and adhere to a regimen and all that, I've had so much practice.
Yes, sir.
Thus far, I was able to keep it at bay for 10 years, and I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't as strict on my regimen as I could have been.
Right. And you gotta, humans are creatures of habit and pattern. They're just certain patterns and certain habits that is so succinct, very hard to break. But it's like tying your sneaker, man, brushing your teeth. You've been doing the same routine for so long, and now you have to change. Someone's cold, you gotta go cold turkey. That's difficult, man. That's very difficult.
It was, man. And how about this? When I got diagnosed and they first put me on this preventative regimen, I was leaving for Europe for the first time like a month later.
Right.
For 3 weeks.
Wow.
So I had to go and keep myself disciplined away from home.
Right. That's right.
It was hard.
It was hard.
But my people that was out there was on point because, before I came, I let them know what was going on. So they kind of catered to it.
Right. And it's a lifestyle change for them.
Yeah.
Even my buddies now, when we go out, we go to, even if we go to like a concert, I tell them, I said, look, here's my pill case. If you see a nigga getting weak, sit my ass down, get me some water. If it gets to the point where I'm incoherent, I had a chain that had the number and the hotline and the medical number to call and let them know, look, Rob ain't feeling right. They'll tell you what to do. And that's how you got to roll. And if your peoples is with you, they got the first aid kit bag with them, the pill bag, all that, and they'll take care of you, bro. For real, man.
By the grace of God, man, I have yet to have that version. My dad died of this shit, right? So I watched my dad live with this for 10 years, 82 to 92.
Wow. What's the reason though? Is hypertension or diabetes?
Well, hypertension is mine. His was hypertension as well, but I think he had another viral situation that nobody really talking about. But with that said, he was in the military, got discharged in 82 because of it, and brought us back to New York, and I watched him grind with it. But he had a horrible go with it.
Right.
That's not the version I've ever had. By the grace of God, you know what I mean?
That's right.
It's been hard, it's been rough, I had moments, but nothing like what I saw him go through.
Right.
So after you got diagnosed, what was some of the immediate lifestyle changes that you made?
Dietary mostly.
Sure.
Then you know, I was hold on one second. They cannulate.
That's right.
Part of my patients.
Cannulation is when they sticking them needles in his, and it's either he have a graft or he has a fistula.
Fistula.
And it's like a little buttonhole where the needle go right in.
Nah, that's not what my life is, brother. Like I got the fistula, and I don't use the buttonholes. I try not to let them stick me in the same place, so that I don't get the aneurysms.
So it's not a graft, because I have a graft.
It's a fistula.
I have a graft. It's like a loop.
Yeah.
And they interchange. Right.
Yeah. Mine is a fistula where they took the artery and the vein and they fused them to create a resilient super vein, for lack of better terms.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So they interchange their cannulation spots every time you go. That's crazy. Yeah, son. That's the lifeline right there, bro.
Yeah, brother.
That's what cleans you out.
I'm at the I'm on. They just put it. This is my second fistula. So I'm back to the blue needles.
Okay.
But on my first one, I was up to the whites.
Right.
The 14 gauge.
The 14 gauge, yeah.
It's for Shannon. So imagine a coffee straw.
Mm-hmm.
And they cut it diagonally. That's the diameter of the needle.
The diameter of the needle, yeah.
It ain't what you go. It ain't the IV you get in the hospital.
It ain't none of that shit, son. You look at that needle like that's going in my arm. Yeah.
And you can look into the needle.
Damn.
That's how that shit is. That yeah.
Yeah, you go straight into it.
It's a big thing, man. Let me ask you this: Are you on the donors list?
Hold on one second, brother.
Okay.
Am I doing 4.5? I can do 4 because I came in late. Yeah.
I was asking you, are you on any of the donors list?
I am.
Okay.
So venturing into that conversation, yeah, the missus, she goes into surgery Wednesday to give her kidney up for me.
Wow.
God bless you, son.
So
that's great.
She's not my match. So it's a swap program.
Right. Talk about that. Now we're talking. Because I'm a part of the same program. And it's all I've been telling. Let me cut your wisdom. This is all I've been telling my friend. Look, you don't have to be an exact match. What they'll do is, if you're O positive, they'll find someone O positive that needs a kidney. But then they'll find me being B positive and give me a kidney. So all it takes is for one person to step up, 2 people get a kidney.
That's right.
That's the dopest shit in the world, B.
So if you think about it, Shannon, it's like if your wife was O positive like me and my wife was B like you, my wife would give you her kidneys and I would take yours.
Right. Right. That's what's up, man. That's gonna be a good feeling, Mike. For real, son. Yo, son, your energy is good. I want to go to the first show when your ass is back, because you're gonna lose it. The energy that you're gonna have.
I'm a hover on stage, probably.
Son, what? Listen, and you have a award in your hand, but like, nah, I'm good. Watch this.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. You might even go through a DMX moment and have a prayer that day, son. It's gonna feel that fucking great.
I don't know.
You were saying talking to Rob about like the other side of it, like post transplant. Why is there not more information out there for people to kind of build around that and talk about what happens post transplant?
Yes, because and I'm 107.4. Because they don't understand. A lot of people don't understand the reality and how prominent this is.
Talk about it.
Because let's look at it for what it is. Most of the time you think about, well, put it like this, when I go to most of my appointments, I'm normally the youngest person in the room.
Sure.
Right? It's normally people in their
elderly,
early 50s and better. It's normally people that have other heavier things going on as well, be it diabetes, cancer, so on and so forth.
Sure.
In our bracket, a lot of people don't really realize the relevance to this disease in our bracket. So therefore, the people that have the platforms that have these talks that you would hear, unless you were subscribing to it.
Sure.
Like if you were tuned into it, then you would hear everything. But if you're not tuned into it, especially considering this is the kind of disease that doesn't show itself until it's in the 4th stage anyway.
That's right.
You're already 4 stages gone by the time you really realize symptomatically that something is going on.
Right.
If you're not, like I had proteinuria, so I was losing a lot of protein in my urine. So my basic urine tests were coming back. There's ain't so much you can do.
Do you experience when you know you reach your fluid limit? Do you experience the trouble breathing?
I've been put back in the hospital. Like I'm in the hospital 3 times because of one time I was 10 kilos over.
Wow, serious.
So that's 2.5 gallons of fluid per kilo. So think about that. Like if you put those gallons of water at my feet, and 2.5 per kilo, that's 20 plus gallons. My heart, lungs, and the funny part is I don't show swelling like in my legs and all that. You don't really see it,
right?
Like everybody else does. So it's hard sometimes to have a visual indicator that you may be over. But yeah, I get winded. Feels like full-on asthma attack.
I feel like a full-blown asthma attack, yes, sir.
One time I got up and made my wife take me in at like 3:30, 4 in the morning. Like, I'm not gonna make it to the morning. Let's go now.
Right.
But beautiful part about it is dialyzing in the hospital, I can go to sleep. I'm in the bed.
It's a lot different, right?
You know what I'm saying? I refuse to sleep here.
Okay.
Because I don't want to wake up cramping. It's too late at that point.
Right.
I can't tell them to change the flow, change the pull.
Right. They could give you some of your fluid back, but you still experience
brother, like
half or
listen, once you start cramping, that means you already did the work. Once they start giving that saline back, you putting the weight back on.
Putting the fluid back on.
Like, I just went through all of that to put it all back on. Now we're not doing that. So what I try to do, I try to stay awake so that way if I feel cramps will threaten you first. Thank you.
You feel it coming. You feel it coming before it comes.
That's right. So you can make your adjustments or reposition yourself or have them stop the pull right there. Right. They'll just So back to the original question. People with platforms don't really get a chance to talk much about it. If you ain't Freeway, it ain't many other people. And I know
that's willing to listen.
I know a lot of folks in hip hop that reached out to me. Cats from the West Coast, from the Loonies, from the Alcoholics.
Right.
It's like a ton of groups over there that got at least one member who kidney failed.
That's right.
That reached out to really coach me when, like, I didn't even know they knew what MicHandz existed. To coach me once I started moving through this. A lot of good people reached out. But with that said, it's why I started sharing my journey.
That's right. Make it known.
Because, my DM became like urgent care. Like, folks check in with me to tell me, I'm going through this. I don't know who to talk to. I'm going through this. I didn't want to tell anybody because I didn't want it to hinder what I'm trying to do or what I'm trying to build. I don't want people looking different. Just flat out, I'm scared. There's people that call me before every single procedure, before their fistula build, before their catheter placement, their catheter removal, their first day of dialysis. I talk them through all of it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's why I reached out to you, because I know what it is that you're going through when, especially when complications arise. You be like, damn, I gotta go through this now. Like, you're gonna get better. It gets worse before it gets better. So you gotta keep a fortitude of a mind frame, just knowing it's gonna get better. If your faith, you have to have faith in on this trip. If you don't have any faith on this trip, it's gonna be a short trip, man.
What you extended to me is what I try to pay forward. You know what I mean? Cats like you that reached out, and you ain't know me from Adam, but it's like, yo, listen, check it out. This is what you're dealing with. This is what you need. This is what you need to do.
That's right.
Because of course we're in a fraternity that nobody wants to join. Right.
And quiet is kept. A lot of our peers, they knocking on the door. I told I said, y'all drank with me. Y'all ate with me. Y'all live how we live. We all live the same way for at least 25 years straight. Yeah. Hanging out, drinking, eating all sorts of hours of that. And we're not paying attention to what the body
is saying.
The effect of it. We just think we getting up the next morning, the next week, and we can do it all over again. Hangovers, clean up. You start. It's the routine you have. Yeah. And I tell you, when I got a headache for 2 weeks that would not go away, and I said to myself, something ain't right. Yeah. I'm not supposed to have a headache no longer than a day or two. And this shit is 2-3 weeks. And it's not going away. So
hypertension, right?
Hypertension. Yeah. And my highest hypertension, I was 267 over 195.
Damn, bro.
I walked in and they looked at me like, yo, how come you didn't have the stroke already?
Yeah, exactly.
Because my heart is, and what happens when your pressure is high, it's between your brain, your kidney, and your heart. It thickens the wall of your heart. If it thickens it hard enough, the shit won't beat. That's it. Flatline. You know what I'm saying? On top of that, your kidneys are working overtime. You know what I'm saying? And it's trying to filter out whatever you're drinking, whatever you're eating. And what I had to learn, what most of us are going through, especially living in environments and urban densities and food deserts that we all come from, that right above the kidney, there is a gland called the adrenal gland. The adrenal gland spits out cortisol every time there's fight or flight. We live in fucking fight or flight.
That's right.
So your adrenal gland is destroying your kidney. You don't even know it. From shootouts, from car accidents, from fights, from getting jumped, all the situations that you can imagine of that we live in, and living in the inner city. We're already destroying our kidneys before we've drinking anything, before we eating any pork, before we eating chitlins, before we've smoked a cigarette. Your mood, your attitude is determined upon your cortisol or your adrenal gland right above your kidneys, and it's just destroying your kidneys just by you thinking about it.
That's right.
Yeah. That's why I try to tell people, by all means, keep a good thought, because the bad thoughts are gonna fuck you up too, man.
We're in a constant state of PTSD, so it's a
matter of time. It's a matter of time. If you're not athletic, one of the just athletic, where you play for your job, the basketball league, or you're consistently on a bike like yourself. My man Shannon right now, he got the Peloton bike, so he's regimented into keeping up with his health that way.
I can tell he got a glow.
Yes, yo, son, the brother, he looked like he's 17, and he's over 40, son.
He got the last dragon.
You got son, fucking Danielson over there, yo. But that being said, though, how does it? Man, there's so many questions I gotta ask you, man.
Let me ask you this though, because with all that's going on though, you still managed to do like all this great work in the community, right? I've seen you got that. I think it's called the Fueling Our Own Development, like the food giveaway and giving away different
food foundation.
Right.
Fueling Our Own Development. Food.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. How'd you come up with that?
Yeah, talk about that a little bit.
So my partner Jackie Love, she reached out to me to be a music ambassador originally, with Spliff Star and Busta and Fat Joe, Snoop, some other people, Black Thought, as an ambassador for the foundation. And once we started doing the work, and she realized my relationship, how I moved, how my mind worked, she opened the door for me to get more involved. Ultimately, that's how it started. Currently, I'm the COO of the foundation. So I kind of guess I climbed to as close to the top as I could get without being the CEO myself. Mm-hmm. And it's about the work. It's just about doing the work. And, you know, with this journey I'm on, bro, like I feel like God spares me 3 times a week to be here. So what am I doing with the time He's given me?
That's right.
It can't all be about me and what I want to do. So what can I do on His behalf while I'm here? So He continues to spare me.
That's right.
So that's really how this happened.
Nice.
That's dope. That's a dope lane to be in, man, to give back, especially when you got a platform. And you can, like I said, our platform is to make people aware that kidney disease is prevalent, right along with all the other diseases we got going on. It can happen at any time, man. And if we're not watching what we eat because we've been taught how to eat traditionally through holidays and barbecues and Christmases, we got the same menu.
Hold on. If we limit it to just that, we would be okay. But the problem is, we have Thanksgiving dinner on Thursday.
On Thursday.
Every Thursday.
We you know, everything is okay in moderation, but we don't really know how to do that.
Right.
We make everything part of our regular regimen and our regular customs, and instead of celebrating, if that's what you're going to do, then let it be celebratory.
Right. That's right.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, we're drinking, like, we getting a promotion, let's have a drink. Okay, it's Thursday, let's have a drink. Okay, they getting married, let's have a drink. Okay, it's Wednesday, let's have a drink. Like, if you limit it to just when it's an occasion,
right?
Even on another level, when I got thrown my sex life scenario, I went back to the whole Ralph Crandon vibe. Like, when you got a promotion at work, you might get lucky. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
But it made you go hard to create those opportunities instead of it being something that's every day to the point that it becomes so normalized that it's nothing special about it.
Right.
Yeah. We did an episode, probably it was maybe about like a month and a half ago, and one of the things we were talking about in terms of, like, you know, consistent with what you're saying, is that also in, you know, especially in New York City, having food deserts and things like that, you know, there aren't really a lot of opportunities for people to get fresh produce. You have people who they take their money and they'll go to McDonald's and they'll get McDonald's, and you know, so some of it I think is our circumstance. Some of it is, though, that people overindulge,
Brother,
and then the other part is lack of education, I feel like, around it.
Not to cut you, but let me be 100% honest. Produce is the cheapest thing you're gonna buy.
Dialysis,
though. You understand what I'm saying? I went to bought a whole salad for $8 the other day.
This might be the first time we ever done this, man. My wife want to say what's up, Mike. Come, baby.
No worries.
She wants to say hi, man.
How you doing?
Good to see you, brother.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the check-in.
Always.
Thanks for sustaining the home.
Yeah, man. She was the one that made us like, yo, you're gonna check on Mike. Mike is losing his kidneys. Remember him from the studio? I'm like, I don't remember, but I'll reach out to him.
Yeah, that's a blessing.
She was the one, man. Absolutely.
You, yeah, going to the vegetable stand is the cheapest thing you can do. Mm-hmm. If you want a budget eat salad, trust and believe, fruit and salad, you can always afford it.
Always.
We choose to buy the $7.99 Big Mac.
Choices.
As opposed to going to spend $7.99 and getting all the pieces you need to build a salad.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can still get you a chicken breast and chop it up or a can of
And
tuna
your
fish,
salad.
bust it down
Right.
Yeah.
on top of it. So it's a choice. It's a lifestyle choice, man. And like today, ironically, I went to get lunch, and I get to the register. She's like, they prepared it, and then it goes down the line to the register. And she's like, "What meat do you have?" I'm like, "None."
Meat.
She's like, and I'm a listen. If it can run, I'm gonna catch it. I'm gonna eat it. I don't think I'll eat it. But it was like I just didn't feel like it.
Right. That's right.
I just didn't feel like it, and you gotta honor that sometimes.
Yeah,
you
you
gotta
do.
give your body a break, bro. Like your body is what it takes to bust down not just red meat, but meat. Period.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta give your body a break.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And allow
sir.
it time to re itself up and rest. It's like playing ball. Like you ain't gonna play 4 straight quarters, are you?
Yeah.
Right. You need to get on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Sit your ass down.
If you want me, listen. If you want me to get busy in the 4th, sit me in the 3rd.
Nah, you're right.
Or at least at the 3/4 of the 3rd, take me out. So I can give you that same energy from the 1st quarter to the 4th quarter.
That's right.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna run me ragged, I ain't gonna have much to give you in the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
But we may be in the clutch.
Yeah.
And these are traditionally habits we've gone as a child, all into the adulthood, and that's why our parents and our grandparents died 65 and 70. Your life can be extended way into our 90s, and we'd be great if we do just that. We watch what we eat, and we give our body time to rest. And that's the best time for the healing to come, is when you're at rest. You take a nap, you sit still, give yourself an hour, give yourself 20 minutes, give yourself a couple of seconds where your body is doing what your body needs to do without you being involved with it.
What's funny is your body is going to do that regardless. The best part is to cooperate, because if not, the body will force it on you and sit your ass down.
Yeah.
Quick. Real quick.
Your body will give you a shot. But when it's, self-preservation, the body's got a mind of its own, no pun intended, when it comes to self-preservation.
Right. Let me ask you this, man, because from 2008 to 2018 is a 10-year period, and unfortunately, you had a close friend who lost his life due to some health complications. How was it working with P and his situation?
Rest in peace, Sean Price.
Rest in peace, Sean Price, for real.
Yeah. That was the epitome of Rambo, for lack of better terms. The average black man, before he go to the doctor, just Rambo do some shit. Right. We had no clue that anything was going on with him. And what's ill is P has sleep apnea, as do I. You know what I mean? I have that as well. And he never got the CPAP machine or anything like that. From what I'm understanding, he really just wasn't big on going to the doctor at all.
Right. Which most men aren't. They don't want to find out what they don't want to find out.
Even higher rates for African American men.
Yes, sir.
Look, I remember when I was younger saying, when HIV was a threat, like, yo, listen, I'd rather just drop dead, fuck it. Because it seemed like whenever somebody found out they had it, that's when their body started to deteriorate from the stress of knowing.
Yep.
Like, Magic seemed like he was fine as shit the week before he got the diagnosis.
Yep.
But then as I matured and got older, you can't keep me out of the doctor's office.
I'm asking every question I know, son. Like, yo, WebMD said this. Now I don't believe it. Tell me some more, yo.
Well, I don't care what you do on WebMD. You click 3 times, you got cancer. Period. So don't even fuck with WebMD.
WebMD, right?
WebMD is the reason. WebMD is the reason, though, why probably the people who are attending or going to the doctor less, because everybody's self-diagnosing now.
That's right. But if you click 3 times, I don't care what it is, you got cancer. Period.
Stay on WebMD, son.
Yeah, leave that alone.
Nah, that's crazy, man.
Another thing you're gonna walk away with is mental health concerns.
Yeah. Another thing I see that I see a lot that you talk about also is like a lot that's going on right now currently in the political arena You know, we've had like some discussions with people that have come on the platform, and everybody is anti-Trump, but people aren't exactly pro-Biden either. And we've had people say, "Fuck it, they rather not vote." What's your position on that? If you're anti-Trump but you're not pro-Biden, you think people should not vote?
You know, this is a lesser. This you got to take the lesser two evils. You got to vote. You can't not vote.
Right.
That's just what it is. Period.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm definitely not pro Trump. Not because I'm not pro all of his political choices. I'm not pro the person. I don't trust the person.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
His motivations and some of the things that he seems to not find anything wrong with concern me.
Very much.
On a bigger scale. Because if you're motivated that way, then what's going to motivate you in these other decisions?
Yeah. Yeah.
Biden, you know, I'll be honest. When Obama was in office, Biden didn't do much to make many waves for me to be as concerned about him as I should be, or could be, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
So giving him a shot, at least I know that, and you know, I was pro-Obama, not just because he was black, but just because I felt like he was making an effort on a unified front.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
With that said, Biden rode with him, so I know some of that had to rub off on how to get this done.
Yeah.
If he was paying attention.
He's actually a politician.
Yeah, he is.
You know,
he's a career politician.
Trump is a reality show monopoly play.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, he played it so.
Yeah.
You know, he's just a weirdo. And I don't think he represents me as a person.
Right. That means a lot right there.
But I don't think his goal is to represent, in particular, us as a person.
Well,
I think the only thing he represents is his interests.
I'll be honest. I'm very aware of systemic racism. I'm very aware of systemic oppression. Of course it does. I do not subscribe to the black and white conversation as it applies to everything in life. I just don't.
That's right.
Because truthfully, I've accomplished a whole lot in my life, right? Coming from the same streets, I'm a 2-time felon. You know, I'm a Decepticon. I've been a 23-year, you know, gang member, so to speak, if that's how you want to call it. We don't ever really refer to it as a gang, but it's what it is. Mm-hmm. Every single systemic hurdle that could have been in my way, I've lived through. Mm-hmm. Except that I had my parents in my life, but my dad was sick, so he might as well not even have been there.
Correct.
Correct. I did it all. I was a parent as a teenager, like everything you can think of. But racism was never in my way. And I'll tell you why I say that. When I grew up and I was training to be an adult and training to run this race, that's the only track that was offered to me. That's right. Racism hurdles were on that track. Mm-hmm. White people were on the inside. You ever look at when you look at the Olympic race and the runners are staggered? Mm-hmm. Because technically the inside of the circle is shorter than the outside, so stagger it.
Yeah,
that's right.
White folks have always been in those outer blocks. They've always been ahead of me my whole life. Mm-hmm. So why am I going to complain about it now? It's all I know. I only know how to win this way.
That's right.
In fact, if you take them off the track, I might overrun. Like I don't know any life other than this.
Well, yeah. You've created your own lane and you stayed in your lane.
Listen, my thing is I learned how to, I know I have to run harder. It's all I know.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I know I have to jump higher. It's all I know.
That's right.
I think
so
the argument
what was easier? Yeah, okay, cool, but I didn't train for that.
Yeah.
That's like you put me in the gym and teaching me to bench 325 and then having me compete at 150.
You're throwing it to the roof.
Yeah. I think
kill myself.
What comes up, I think the argument is that as a result of us always being subjected to that we're in a position that, like you said, like it's all we know. You know, we become conditioned to kind of accept it. And I agree with you. I think
I became conditioned to hyper excel.
That's what I was going to say. I think for some people it's a motivation, and for some people have used it as a crutch as to why they can't progress.
But that's like everything in life. Everything. Well, my father was a drunk, so I couldn't this, or my father was a drunk, so I refused to not. Which one is it? It's your choice.
It's your choice. It's a power of choice, man.
I don't. If it's a huge problem for you, you're weak. Sorry. You might not want to hear that, but this is for the people in the back.
Yeah. You know what I think happens though? I do think that there are people who tend to interject race into everything. And I don't think race is the sole reason for Black people's failures. There are other things going on, definitely, that there's not a direct correlation to race, but race has conveniently become
Black people are the sole reason for Black people's failure. I don't care what nobody says.
Right. It's choices, man.
Let me tell you something. If white folks were to give us everything that we quote unquote want right now, is that going to stop us from shooting each other in the face?
No, but honestly, I don't know what we want. I don't know what we want. What is it that we want?
Here's what I'm saying. We have to fix the root to save the tree.
That's right.
If we don't fix the root, the tree is eventually going to die.
It won't even grow a leaf.
Yeah. What is it that we want, though? What is it that we want?
Well, I don't know. I don't speak for we. I can't tell you what we want.
Yes, but you know what? You make a good point.
I know what my children have been raised to want. I know what my family raised me to want.
Right.
But I can't tell you because I look at a lot of Black people as a whole with a question mark on my face. Like, I don't know what the hell we doing.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's the truth.
There's not a unified message, though. There's not a unified message or a unified agenda in terms of what it is that we need or we want.
There's nothing. You point out something that is unified. Besides,
I'll tell you one thing that was unified that came up when the LGBT group, when LGBT wanted rights, they said we want the right to get married.
That had nothing to do with Black.
No, I'm not talking about Black. I'm just talking about when we start talking about demographics, about somebody being unified.
Yeah, but here's what I'm
Black
saying.
people, we don't have unification about what our agenda is.
Here's the thing. When you start talking about the LGBTQWXYZ, and that's because it's broad. When you start talking about that, it now becomes unity because that's a cross race.
Right. That's a whole different animal right there.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about from a racial perspective of LGBT. Yeah, I'm not talking about from a racial perspective of LGBT.
But this is why you can't talk about them in a parallel conversation. With them, in that situation, they subscribe to an ideal, a unified ideal. And that's what they were all able to rally behind. In this case, we can't put our egos individually to the side enough to agree on a unified ideal.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. Like philosophically, where are we?
Watch if you take it back.
Philosophically, we all ego tripping.
Look, when Black folks were effective, we had nothing but pride. That's all we had.
That's right.
So we came together because if we didn't, that was our only shot at having something. Now,
say it loud, I'm Black and I'm proud.
Got a little bit of something. So they only gonna be on that picket line until it's time to go to work. They're not gonna jeopardize their own for the mass, because each person has a little bit of something. They're not gonna jeopardize what they have for the collective. With the LGBTQ, sorry, I fucked that up sometimes, but they're back where we were. All they have is pride.
That's right, gay pride.
So it's either we all come in to get something, or we all walk away with nothing. Now it's either we all come together with something, or fuck it, I got something over here anyway. Everybody got their own little something, so they not coming together for what?
Yeah.
We good over here, according to them.
Yeah. See, that's problematic, though.
Yes. But until we are willing to sacrifice what I have for what we could have, it's not going to change.
Yeah, it's us all ego, man. We ego trip way too long, and ego has no reason in the human psyche anyway. But that's how we perpetuate these personalities that we have now. It's because of your ego, man. And if you allow the ego to swim and do all it's doing, you're gonna have confusion. That's why we're so dysfunctional, son.
We can't get past light skin and dark skin shit.
That's what I was just about to say.
If we can't get past that, then okay, we all black. No, I'm Jamaican. No, I'm Haitian.
Right.
No, I'm that. Wait a minute. Look, you could tell when the Black Lives Matter shit started, and then people started saying, "Well, do black gay lives matter? Do black trans lives?" Didn't we say? Oh, did we ever separate? Wait a minute.
Right.
You think we're gonna pull the black bus off and not let you on? Like, what are we talking about?
But yo, you know what that honestly comes from though? That comes from systemic racism, because that created internal racial inferiority, right? So race is all about classification. So because of that classification, though, that's why you have internally different black people saying, well, you know, I'm better because I have this, I have that.
At the end of the day, I love what you're saying, and I respect the logic of what you're saying. But in the most respectful way I could say it, fuck out of here. The truth of the matter is, these are choices of individuals that at the end of the day have a choice to make.
That's right.
I can either look at you as my equal and stand next to you, or I feel the need to isolate. So for me, I get how it could be systemic oppression and it could be systemic racism. But the truth of the matter is, everybody on this call is a product of the same thing, but we opted to make choices.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It just is what it is.
It's power choice. That's right.
I can't do it. Like, I don't care what we do, we will find a way to subdivide.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just us. We're just hypersensitive to us.
Right. It's the culture in which we live in now.
People do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everyone does it.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in the 7th grade, I went to a school. They bused me over to a school in Bay Ridge, white section of Brooklyn. And the teacher the white lady, she did this dope ass like exercise. We came in, she didn't arrange seats. She was like, everybody take your own seats. And she gave us 20 minutes in a 45-minute class to decide where we're going to sit at.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know everybody in there in the 7th grade, we segregated ourselves?
Yeah, you click.
Spanish kid, Greek kids sat with the Greek kids, Armenian kids sat with the Armenian kids, the Russian sat with the Russian. The 3 black people sat with the 3 black people, which means it was so much bigger than just what the black folks were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Everyone did it. Is that systemic? Or do people tend to flock to what's familiar?
Yeah. They
I
do
mean,
that.
you could probably make a
You can make a case with that.
Yeah.
People will only join to what they're used to.
Mm-hmm. Listen, nobody's gonna wear a Nike and a Reebok.
Nah.
Not if you're fashionable, you're not.
But it's not even that. Like, naturally, you're programmed to say that matches.
Mm-hmm.
And it is what it is. I just think it's what we do with it. You know, being pro-black doesn't mean being anti-white. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's what you do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
How do you help white people understand that, though? Because that's the message, and white people believe that.
Brother, that's not my business. That's for them to sort out. We still trying to sort us out. This is what I'm saying. We so worried about what they doing, we forget to sort us out.
Let them figure it out. They've been figuring it out any goddamn way.
It's like a kid saying, but how about me? How about me? Fuck out of here, bro. Like, you make your own opportunities right now.
That's right.
Think about how many billionaires and millionaires we got that's successful in our own ways. But we're so caught up in wanting validation from them that we get lost.
We lose track.
We don't need their validation. I could care less what the fuck they do.
Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think? Like, for on the same line of that, like, what do you think now with everything that's going on, especially in New York City, with the Black Lives Matter movement in full swing? You get a lot of people that's now constantly throwing out there, well, what about the violence that's going on in the hood, and trying to use that to sort of derail everything that's going on with Black Lives Matter.
Or how about it's a conversation we should have been fucking having? That's number one.
Yeah.
Let's try to derail one has nothing to do with the other. Black
That's
lives
what I always try to tell. That's what I always try to tell people.
What does Black lives matter to who? Or should Black lives only matter to them? Does it matter to you?
Mm-hmm.
Because right now I live in the middle of Brooklyn, where the spikes have been crazy.
Yeah, man.
In the gun violence. And listen, I was shot twice, stabbed once. White person never did it. I ain't never been shot by a white dude.
Mm-hmm.
Never been stabbed by a white dude. Never shot at a white dude.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
So when it comes down to outgrowing being part of the problem, I had to sit back and in hindsight, being 2020, really take a look and see, well, what did this look like? What were my contributions?
That's right.
Another reason why this food situation is important to me. One of the guys I do a lot of work with, we were sworn enemies growing up. From a whole nother team. We was on live one day and we literally spoke on it like, yo, 20 years ago, this couldn't happen.
Yeah, that went at your head.
This couldn't happen.
That's right.
But now we work together to try to do what we can to give back to the block. You know what I mean?
Right.
We had to decide and make a choice that this was no longer what it was. And that's just what it is. Like, a movement is based on a collective of individual mindsets that work in accordance with each other. But
that's right.
It starts with the individual mindsets.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Individuals have to make up their mind, and then when you have enough individuals whose minds align, there's a movement.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying?
So you can work on the chord that way. Once you work on the chord and everyone got the same mind frame, then you can change something because you see it.
We are at a deficit of like-minded individuals.
Yeah. We got to speak out. I think a lot of times we just don't. We're so comfortable with being in our individual positions that we don't want to speak out. And that's one of the reasons why I reached out to you from the kidney perspective, because I'm like, I could imagine what's going through his head, because no one's asking, no one's checking, no one's saying, how did this happen? People are looking at it and be like, oh, wow, MicHandz lost his kidney. Now what you do? Mm-hmm. Yo, see how he's doing. You all right? Mm-hmm. Is there anything you need? You want to talk? How did that happen? You know what I mean? Because no one asked me nothing. Even to this day, if it were a certain couple of people wouldn't even ask me nothing.
I'm going to be fair. I had an onslaught of all of those questions. I had a different kind of energy and support from people, man. Like, I mean, there was even like 70 people that called to get tested to see if they were a match for me. You know what I mean?
That's
from all over the world. I had people calling from Australia and shit like that, like willing to fly in if they kidney matched. People definitely were reaching out and extending themselves. But I know millions of people. There was millions of people I ain't get nothing from either. You know what I mean? So to be fair, that balance. But I couldn't focus on that. I had to live and draw energy from those that did, you know?
Right. That's what pushes you
some
forward.
People didn't know what to say. They didn't know what to ask. They didn't know what to say. They didn't want to sound redundant. They didn't know if I was trying to keep my mind off of it, so they didn't want to be the one to bring it up type. You know what I mean? Like all those little human things going on. But just like anything, going back to the original point, it's all about communication, man, and actually having the conversation. A lot of the times on my posting, I ain't nobody asking this. I'll be honest, man. I just feel like a good conversation is always necessary.
It's always necessary.
Dialogue is always necessary. And a lot of times it was just trying to help navigate the narrative where people are posting a bunch of shit, bandwagoning, but no context. And, you know, post responsibly was kind of like my little movement in my own right to just check people who was just posting shit that would actually derail the narrative. Like, you posting it because it sounds good, but did you peel that apart? Or are you telling, like, pictures are worth 1,000 words, but your comment only got 2? So are people following what you thinking or what this meme is saying?
How about that?
Yeah. Do they know how this meme affected you and what made you think it was relevant enough to post it?
To post it, that's
right. Because they may not get from it what you got from it.
Yeah.
If you don't post content.
Yeah.
You gotta put it out there, man.
Yeah, I think, you know, I appreciate you saying that, because I think in this day and age, one of the things that drives me crazy also is that there's just a series of people who just repost anything. They'll just repost anything. They won't do the research behind it to see if it was factual. They don't know anything about it, and they'll just repost it. And what I find is, I think that, you know, different people have different levels of activism in regards to whatever it is. But I can't respect if the sole extent of your activism is that I'm just going to repost everything that comes out and not do any research.
Well, how about the fact that, let's just dig into that. Don't do any research. Well, what's your research tool? Google?
Right?
Google
It must be true because it was on the internet.
But Google is nothing but a whole bunch of people's thoughts that have been uploaded and collected.
Mm-hmm.
So who's to say that what you find on Google makes it any more factual?
Yeah.
Makes it accurate. That's right.
You understand? So people be like, do your research. Okay, cool.
Where are your sources?
What makes this website accurate?
Mm-hmm.
Let's peel it apart even more. What makes a fact a fact?
Mm. Yep. Yes.
So
Funny.
let's explore that.
What makes a fact a fact? That's right.
To me, I think
it's just something that some man somewhere or woman deemed a fact.
I was just about to say that people get caught up in because they scream, "Yo, facts." That makes it factual.
Yeah, but I mean that's the kids. But I mean, like in real life, let's talk about M equals MC squared.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about it.
But what makes that a fact? Because somebody declared it a fact at some point.
There was someone's opinion of it, and they had to show and prove
it. And they had enough clout to get it written down.
Mm.
But who's to say that that's the end all be all fact?
That's correct.
But we subscribe to it because that's what was documented. But does that make it a fact? That means right now, me and you, all three of us could declare some shit a fact, post it somewhere, just that and the third, and now everybody that comes behind us, this is now a fact.
Right. You're right. You're right. Yeah. You gotta question all things, man. You can't take nothing face value.
Yeah, you have to have the ability to challenge what people so-called deemed facts.
Even when you do, just because I disagree with it doesn't mean it make it any less of a fact.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. You have to put it in application. What makes a fact is that you got to take what it is that you're ascertaining and apply it. And if the results come out as what they need to be, as you're saying that they should be, then that's how you find out a fact is a fact. You have to put the application in it. Don't just take someone saying, well, yo, that sky is blue. Why the fuck was it blue?
Sky is blue, yeah.
What made it blue?
Mm-hmm.
Is there reflection? Is there light? Is there a reason for these things?
Or it's just my perception of the sky.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. So it happens, man. You gotta stay sharp.
Well, that's to me, that's the value of information and knowledge. Like, you should be challenging it. You shouldn't take everything at face value.
The problem is right now our information highway, which number one oversaturates information, is still driven by the participant. This shit is a big ass Napster.
About that, it is.
It's just part. It's
you just download. You just download shit that just don't need to be there.
It's a collection of a million people's thoughts. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, you see it in the media too, right? When you turn on the TV, depending on what channel you turn to, you know, you can always tell, like, it's all right, this is a conservative leaning channel or a liberal leaning channel. So it's usually.
What's funny is I never paid that shit no mind until y'all started talking about it. The news was the news, but I ain't watched none of it. Just bullshit.
Yeah.
It always bad news.
Yeah, I leave the news alone, man. I learned that back early years, man. The nation always tell you, yo, leave the news alone. It'll demoralize you.
Yeah, that's all.
It'll mess your day up, man. It'll mess your day up.
Well, you know, and at the end of the day, in all defense of that, just because I don't want to hear it don't mean I don't need to hear it. I just was over it. Like, you know what, at the end of the day, shit from where I'm standing, I could do about it anyway.
Yeah. That's
right.
So see it when I see it. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Whether I disagree with it or not, I ain't changing it from where I'm standing.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Now, when my position changed, I could do better.
Yeah.
Yeah. No better, you do better, son. How long you on the machine for?
4.5.
4.5?
Damn.
Wow. That's a long stretch, man. I'm on at least 3.5. I'm usually on 3.5.
Yeah, 4.5.
How much fluid did you put on?
I'm heavy today, like I just mentioned it earlier. So I came on at 107. My dry is 101.
Okay. Yeah, you was drinking, brother.
Yeah, so they about to take it all off.
They about to take it all off, man. Yeah. Yo, let's talk about the Dev Squad, good brother. How did that come about?
So Kim Sherman, Eric's sister, I was brought to her attention on a business level first and foremost, marketing, branding, all the other shit I do. And then my cousin, DJ Diamond, the artist, happens to be the original DJ for EPMD. And he left to go DJ for Prince and then Beyonce, then end up coming back to DJ for EPMD. So he was talking about me, yo, you got to check my cousin out, Brooklyn Center 3rd. Kim was talking about me, yo, you got to check this kid, MicHandz out Center 3rd. So one day I was talking to my cousin, and Eric popped his head on the line, like, yo, what up? Yo, I heard you need to come, I heard you need to come see me. What we gonna do? I'm like, yeah, I'll come out there tomorrow. He was like, all right, do that.
Right.
The rest is history.
That's it. Nice.
It was crazy, though. We was in the build, not to cut you, he was in the build, and I was playing, talking to him, and he was kind of asking me, like, first he made me the national sales rep for Def Rugs immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was to satiate what his sister was talking about.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So once we got past that, it became a music conversation, and he was like, yo, making music is easy, but what kind of music do you want to make? Like, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to do? So I was letting him know that, I come from boot camp first. So I was part of the boot camp quick before anything. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, the problem is I feel like I hit a glass ceiling with boot camp. Like all my underground and my murder, death, kill, street rap shit, that's easy. But I got these other records that are bigger than that crowd just doesn't want to hear from me.
Right.
So I don't pull those out. Remember, I started as a singer before anything. So I have all these other sound
ideas and
just isn't appropriate for this listener that I do have. So as long as I'm there, I'm always gonna have the crowd I inherited, which was, touring with Smith and Wesson, touring with Sean, touring with Rock. So I'm always gonna kind of have that Mobb Deep crowd. That 500,000, I'm probably gonna max out at gold no matter what I do. But I got records I know are bigger than that.
Right.
I need more of that, just like music crowd.
That's right.
Opposed to just that. I know I got your open crowd.
Yeah.
Because I can do both. And I told Sherman, so he's like, well, what you talking about? So I sang a hook for him, and his eyes lit up. He was like,
you can sing?
That's what I'm talking about. I want that. And we was pretty much locked in from that moment. So
yeah, that's dope. That's super
next time I went out there, we did the photo shoot. And then we did the cover of Validated Magazine with me, him, Top Fife, and Rock Wilder to introduce my signing.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what's up, man.
Boot Camp Click is a hell of a affiliation too. Boot Camp Click got classic albums, brother.
As a Brooklyn MC, actual fact, I couldn't have landed in a better space as a Brooklyn MC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was them right there, man. Growing up listening to them, Black Moon, Smith.
That first Black Moon album, that first Smith and Wesson album, to me is like those are classic albums.
Yeah, son. They made us wear backpacks, brother.
They made us wear fatigues and Timbs all year round.
All year round too, yes.
But how about the fact that 25 years later, remember, I'm only 43, so back then I was way too young I was just a spectator. 25 years later, I got to design all the merch for the union. I mean, for the anniversary, the 25th anniversary.
Wow.
And I got to have a lot of input on putting that together because of the relationship I now have and the role that I play outside of just being an MC. So that was an honor for me because the first go round, I couldn't participate. I just was spectating. They were just a tape that was constantly in my book bag. To now being able to be a relevant participant where Steel or Sin or somebody will call me like, yo, this is what we trying to do. I need you to come to the crib and be part of the think tank.
Yeah, that's dope.
That's dope. That's how you get down like that.
I saw online where you were saying, I guess you were saying that you had a not 97, not Hot 97, but not 97 movement. And yo, one of the things that I tell people sometimes, a lot of people look at me like I'm bugging, but I think honestly, like Hot 97 at the height of their success did a lot of damage to hip hop in New York City.
Here's my thing. We never had a problem with Hot 97. We just played what Hot was not playing. You know what I mean? They stopped breaking records. They stopped playing the local. They stopped playing New York music, number one.
That's right. That's right.
They stopped breaking records. They started playing what was already working, and we started following trends. And that's when they lost me.
Fucking program the records, man.
Yeah.
There was no way that I was as relevant as I was on a local level, but you guys weren't playing on any level.
Yeah, they went a significant period without breaking any records. It's funny to me though, like, cause when I go down to Georgia or even up in Connecticut, I don't know if you notice, Rob, like the radio format just seems so different. Like you'll just randomly hear like local artists, you'll hear anybody, but in New York, to me, it's like the same 15, 20 records spin every hour, just in a different type of time.
I don't even listen to radio no more. I got my Spotify. I got all of the artists that I want. And it's like a 10-hour playlist because I can't do it. I don't even pay attention to the radio. I don't do it anymore.
Think about it. Once the first person paid a DJ and the DJ accepted it, and payola goes back a long way. But in this hip hop realm, once a DJ found out that he didn't have to play you for free,
right?
Why would he?
Yeah.
That's it. The end of the game right there.
Yeah.
If you're willing to pay me to do it, why would I not?
Shit. It ain't even worth it.
Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
Everybody gets caught up on the all right. So people use the word should. There's a ton of things that should be. To me, I try to teach this to my kids. Should is this little magical place behind Oz. If you can find Oz, you can find should.
You can find should right there next to it.
Should is ideal. Ideally,
should is a blueprint to what could be.
Right.
But
Just
it never actually exists. I should be a millionaire.
Right.
I should be able to fly. I should don't really.
Don't do shit. It sits right there.
Should is like tomorrow. You ever notice you never in your life experienced tomorrow? Because at 12 o'clock it became today. It's like going to pick up a ball and kicking it in front of you. You never can quite pick it up. Same thing. Just because it should don't mean it could or will. There's a ton of things that these people should do, but will they? You know? Again, like I said, it goes back to our original conversation. It becomes about the individual and the preservation of the individual, not the preservation of the collective. See, me, the reason I get the love I get in hip-hop is because it's always been about the preservation of the overall culture. And for me, it really was selfish because I just felt like if I could sustain the culture in the form that we know, then there's somewhere for me to be heard.
Yeah, you got
because
lane.
If it converts, then I don't have a lane anymore.
That's right.
When Sadat is no longer a star when he walks in, when MOP are no longer stars when they walk in, when the boot camp is no longer stars when they walk in, nobody want to hear me. So I might as well not even say nothing. Because I come from that.
Yeah. That's right. That's our cloth.
Yeah. So I have to keep that. I have to keep those environments because as long as they're on the bill, MicHandz can shine on that bill.
And I'm glad you said it that way. I mean, cut your wisdom, because I tell people all the time, like, yo, I still look for everyone I grew up listening to. Like you said Sadat. Sadat still make music. Pooba still make music. Yo, my favorite Brooklyn rapper, Master Ace, still make music, my nigga.
Yeah.
You get some quality shit.
Yeah. And Master Ace, like one of the dopest MCs that's underrated to me.
Son, that's my favorite Brooklyn. I know everybody like Biggie. Nah, I'm fucking with Master right now. So. That's just how I live.
I'm gonna be honest, fuck that. MicHandz is the nicest nigga in Brooklyn right now.
But, that's right.
But not Ace, me and Ace, man. Like, you know, pride is kept. But when people think about me and what I pushed through to be here, people don't know that Ace been sick the whole time you've known him. He's had MS the whole time.
Yeah, I think he spoke about that in the interview.
Doing his numbers regardless. So he was one of the people I reached out to find out what that coexistence looked like.
That's right.
And how do you still
maintain
this? Yeah, and you know, but it had to be him. Like, how do you still be a rapper? Because it has to apply there, because there's certain things that come with our lifestyle and what it takes to do what we do that other people don't deal with.
That's right.
With the travel and eating on the road and having to give this high level of energy multiple nights in a row.
That's right. The business aspect.
It's just a whole different. It takes a different thing, man. Regular 9 to 5. It's not as hard to accomplish when you're sick.
That's right.
We had Arsonists, or the Heat Makers, on a couple of weeks ago, and one of the things that we asked him was, you know, at this point,
Arsonist, that's the homie, huh?
Yeah, he's a good dude.
He's a really good dude.
He was fucking with Freddie Gossler heavy.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good dude. At this point, do you need a major record label in the industry to be in the industry?
Sorry, let me fix my face. Hell no.
Yeah. But okay, so here's the thing. Why is it that now people are finally starting to realize that, when the whole concept of being independent has been around for years, but people shunned it?
Because we ain't had no money, we ain't had no budget, we ain't have the relationships. Now we're starting to finally network into these relationships where we have a pathway to radio, we have a pathway to distribution, we have a pathway to certain places that you needed those different departments of the label. Other people are lazy. I was talking to Bahama D the other day.
Shout out to Bahama D.
Yeah.
We're working on something. We're going to do a food foundation distribution with her in Philly, with some of the locals out there. But to say it, we were talking about that concept. Like she said verbatim, like the fact that people still look for record deals baffles her right now. But the truth is, a lot of people don't have what it takes to do everything else beyond rap or beyond or whatever it is.
Right.
This is a job. When you take that part on, it's a job, bro. You got to create a product, market the product, package the product, and then get the product to market. And then let the people know it's there.
That's right. You got to pitch it,
and then still rap.
That's right. And still got to perform it.
So imagine being the Coke can and having to be the Coke distributor and having to be the Coke producer.
The Coke bagger. Everything, son.
Coke moves how many billions of product a year?
Man.
Imagine trying to do that and all you are the Coke can.
That's
right. Not as easy as people think.
Yeah.
That's right.
From the outside. Only reason I do it pretty well is because it's all I knew. I never got the record deal I wanted.
Right.
So if I wanted to participate at all, I had to figure out this version. The beauty of it is it makes me a guru now that everybody has been shifted to this space. Now they're trying to learn the only thing I know.
That's right. That's right. That's where we are right now.
Yeah, it's just to me unfortunate that people are now changing because the times have changed, but folks didn't see, like you said, like you seen early on, like, yo, this is where it's at. This is how I'm gonna get it.
No, I didn't
Or the
see
record
this
label that I can get the record deal.
I wish I had a record label. I wish Warner, that deal worked. I wish Def Jam picked me up afterwards. What? I didn't want to have to do this shit.
The legwork. They would have did all it
Out
for
of
you.
necessity, not knowing what I know today, out of necessity, I had to. And who knew it was going to make me hyper relevant now because I mastered that space. But before, no. Somebody fucking help me.
Yeah, I need to.
Even knowing the financial element, like even knowing the financial difference.
I ain't making $1 million then. I ain't making $1 million now. What's the difference? The difference is the machine would have got my name further, made me more relevant, so I could have made more show money.
Right. That's right.
See what I'm saying?
That's
right now, you got Smith & Wesson, who did not have the best deal with Nervous when they did The Shining. But right now, they can survive and sustain themselves, still performing that same album from all the marketing and branding work that Nervous did back then.
Yeah.
So it's a dual-edged sword when you look at it. You know what they say? 100% of nothing ain't worth shit.
Yeah. Absolutely nothing.
Something, then 100% of nothing.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I own all this, but what is it worth?
Yeah. It was somebody that we was talking to. Actually, he was talking about Prospect from TS, and he was talking about, like, you know, getting the Prospect from TS. He was talking about getting the advance and stuff like that people would, you know, get the advance and get themselves set up. So I don't know if that was maybe the law for some people too, just to get the upfront money.
Listen, that was interesting too, but the part that you're trying to really get is the machine, bro. Like, I was willing to take a horrible deal just to get the benefits of the work of the deal.
Jadakiss said that.
He loves a major. He loves a major. Let them do all that cutting and pasting, and I'll just show up.
Jadakiss said that. He said that in the interview. He was like, yo, I'd rather just have, he's like, yo, I get how the independent work, but he's like, I'd rather just have the major behind me doing all the work because I don't want to do all that other work.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's the reality.
That's the reality of it, yeah. That's right.
But that's all I know.
Yeah, Rock.
Nah, I was gonna say, man, it's a pleasure having this brother on here, man, after seeing what he's going through, the strides that you made, and you still got the wherewithal to still push it forward and help other people out. I appreciate your time, good brother. Thank you so much for sharing your story. You know what I mean? Because our story needs to be told with this kidney thing, man, because we got a lot of peer groups that are living that life, and they still don't want to go get tested. And I tell them all day, just go know your numbers, know what your CRAT numbers is, know what your blood pressure numbers is. Walk with those numbers every day. You know what I'm saying? So if you feel a little lethargic, yo, go check your pressure. Your pressure might be high. You got to find out why your pressure high.
Or low.
Or even low. My wife dealt with that a little bit, man, where we had to give her a little cookie or something for her to come up because she was feeling a little faint. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times in our life, we're not on a regimen. We think we're on a regimen, but we're living just vicariously with our emotions. I'm hungry. No, I ain't hungry. Oh, I want to drink. Oh, I want to really drink. Then I don't want. It's too in and out. It's nothing consistent in our life until something hits you, and now you got to pay attention to what's going on. So, thank you, brother. Yeah. I didn't have much left, Shanal, if you had anything left.
Before you dip though, let me ask you about Sneakerhead. So.
I'm glad you did that.
Yeah, brother.
NYC, man. That's the brand. For those that don't know, I was a clothing designer. I was a menswear designer for 20 plus years, man. So nice. Sean Dog, Plus Color, Carl Kanaj, Yuri. I was the head designer at Pepsi. I was at Coke, 1020 Blues. I freelanced for just about everybody. I was head designer at Gino Green Global. So the only thing I know better than rap is fashion. And that's what I did. I started at 14 when I went to Fashion Industries High School. And I've been in fashion ever since. So it's a streetwear brand, SNKR NYC. I mean, SNKR HEAD NY. So Sneakerhead, New York. .com. That's us. And yeah, man, we do some joints. We got some work. I got another brand, Emerald City No G. So Emerald City, you can check that out on the gram. We got some things. Yeah, man. I just did a new deal today with Street Approved, and Streets is watching to do some designs for them for 2021. So we're working that deal out now, literally as we speak. I'll check my email after we get off this call to see if they responded to the numbers. And yeah, man, like that's my pastime. That's my break from rap shit. I just play around with Illustrator and Photoshop and come up with new shit for a season or something. So.
Yeah.
What's up, brother?
Yo, I wanna echo what Rob said, man. Thank you for agreeing to come on and do this, and the fact that you would even agree to do it while you're doing dialysis, like you're a real one, brother.
He's a real one, son.
I'm gonna tell you the absolute truth, bro. I haven't done any interviews since February, before the pandemic situation.
Wow.
I refused to. So this is the first one I've done for 2020.
Yo, we appreciate it.
And that's only because, Rob, like, the connection we got is the reason I did it.
We brothers for life now, brother. You can't get rid of me. I'm gonna always check on you, make sure you're good, man. For mental first, because you're gonna be able to handle all the rest stuff. But I just want to make sure you sharp up here, man.
Yeah,
and that's me paying it forward. That's it.
Yeah, and same thing. Like, it's like I said, that's what carries me through. My contribution to others, because I realize it's bigger than me now.
That's right.
And the people that are behind me that are in my DM and on my phone just checking. I really don't need much. People always ask me, what do you need? I don't need nothing. What you did, you already did. That's all I needed.
That's it.
Put something in the
spark
tank for me. Just keep me going.
I got you, baby. You ain't got to worry about that, man.